Howdy, 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 my name's Sasuke, and welcome back to SCP Sidestep. I don't know what episode this is, but the reason I'm doing one of these right now, one, I meant to do this a couple of weeks ago, but things happened, and two, episode 200 was supposed to be done by now, but once again, things happened. So the first chunk of, well not chunk, but the first part of this episode is me explaining myself for episode 200. It is still my intention for episode 200 to span the last 45 entries of the 900s. But I got 15 entries in and the episode was already pushing 2 hours. So at this point in time, I'm not 100% sure if it's worth it to have episode 200 be a single video. I was thinking of splitting it into 2 videos because I was recording it in chunks. I was recording it in five entry chunks. And when I got to the 4th one, I said, that does it for this chunk, and now we're going to move over to the next chunk. And I don't know why I said it like that, because if it was going to be one video, it would be edited together seamlessly, and you wouldn't even really have noticed the chunks, other than a few inconsistencies with the website itself. But I realized by me ending the 4th chunk that way, for some reason, I can split it right there. So if you guys would rather me split episode 200 into multiple videos instead of it being a 3 to 4 hour monstrosity like it was looking like it was about to be, please let me know in the comments of this so I know how to proceed for episode 200, because at this point I just hit a wall of not really knowing how to continue working on that one. But I do have every intention of that being the episode where we break into the 1000s. That being said, the content for this episode of SCP Sidestep, someone had recommended to me that I check out the groups of interests so that I know what it's talking about whenever they show up. I didn't know that the group of interests was going to have this many dudes, but it also doesn't look like it's going to be very difficult to read all of it. It's pretty much just a long page because of the formatting. So this episode is going to be reading about the groups of interest, reading Incident 239B Clef Kondraki. I don't even remember. I'm not 100% sure I remember what SCP-239 was, or why Kondraki and Kane Pathos Crow and Dr. Gears or Dr. Bright have anything to do with it. And then we're going to watch the 5th episode of Confinement, because I've been looking forward to that. And it looks like they took a break as well, and there's like, what are they way up to now? There's episode 6, part 1 of 2, a music video. Okay, so it looks like, Confinement update, I broke my arm. Oh, you broke their bum. Okay, so it looks like once I hit episode, wanted to watch episode 5, it looks like we've only got half of episode 6 so far. Okay, cool. But yeah, that's what today's episode's going to be, so let's go right on ahead, scroll back to where I need this to be at, and go do that. So, file overview. The Foundation is not the only group with an interest and investment in the paranormal and metaphysical. There are many other groups in existence who possess, use, or attempt to create SCP objects either for their own personal gain or for the protection of mankind. Some are rival organizations, some are splinter groups of the Foundation, and some are trusted associates of the Foundation. In any case, it has been deemed necessary to create and distribute a brief on what agencies the Foundation knows about and our stance towards them. Starting with Alex Silva University, which we've started seeing a lot more of lately. Very little is known about the university or its motives. Evidence appears to suggest that the organization exists in some sort of alternate universe in which Latin and Greek cultures maintain dominance over at least the Western Hemisphere. Nothing to date is known about any other part of this world. All university-related objects have been found in the mid-southern United States, and more specifically in Tennessee, which in and of itself leads to the Wayward Tale. I don't know if it's a tale called Wayward or if it's related to the Wayward Prince, leading Foundation researchers to believe the university itself is located in that geographical area. Many objects associated with the university, which is not believed to have built the objects, are recovered during postal transit by the agency known as Freight Transimum Combine, and accompanied by relevant paperwork, which has helped shed light on the objects and the place from which they came. To date, all that is known about the methods that transfer the objects is that the technology uses principles similar to that of the Einstein-Rosen bridge, a concept considered purely theoretical by contemporary science. A particular section of the university, known as the Department of Natural Philosophy, is considered responsible for the transferences, possibly without the knowledge or consent of the rest of the organization. To see all documents tagged with this college, click here. So far, I think I've only seen 2. Let's see how many there actually are. There are quite a bit more than what I've seen. I've seen SCP. Oh, I guess I've seen 3 then. Okay. I've seen SCP 474, 877, and I've actually. I'm not sure if I've reached 961 yet in episode 200. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, it looks like there's going to be a whole lot more of that in the future. Ambrose Restaurants. I haven't seen this one yet. I don't think I've seen this one yet. Ambrose Restaurants is a large-scale chain of fine dining eateries located in various public locations across Earth, along with several locations in anomalous or extra-dimensional locations of interest. These restaurants specialize in anomalous food and culinary practices and vary widely in variation and style. Despite the scale of the Ambrose Restaurants chain, they are generally non-hostile and will instead flee from threats directed towards them. This is a lot of links we got here. Let's see. London, Ambrose, that, Thorn Valley, SCP-4554, SCP-39 or 36 to 89. They are currently believed to be jointly owned by persons of interest Chaz Ambrose and Marius, but due to lack of public appearances, this is unconfirmed. Notably, several groups of interest have engaged in relations with Ambrose Restaurants, including Marshall Carter and Dark, and Herman Fuller's Circus of the Disquieting. I don't think we've seen that one. Oh, I wouldn't worry about Flaky OS. Though the extent of which they collaborate is unknown. As the Ambrose Restaurants chain continues to expand beyond anomalous markets, any new locations are to be shut down and valuable information on Ambrose Restaurants saved. Okay, so how often do y'all show up? Maybe I have seen them and I just don't know. Nope, I haven't seen them yet. They're not going to come up for a while. Andersen Robotics. Based in the Pacific Northwest, Andersen Robotics first came to the Foundation's attention in 2007 with the capture of 1360, which we will reach in the coming months. Led by Vincent Andersen, and specializing in the sale of anomalous androids, robots, artificial intelligence, and cybernetics, Andersen Robotics has quickly gained a fair amount of traction in the realm of paratechnology. The group's small size, remarkable espionage capabilities, and surprisingly large resource base has made apprehension of any Andersen employee difficult, with only a handful of Andersen products currently in the hands of the Foundation. Have we seen any Andersen things? Let's see. That's a no. That is most certainly a no. Are we cool yet? A collection of anomalous artists, or anartists. Members of Are We Cool Yet are capable of either obtaining or producing anomalous objects and entities, and using them to create art installations. Birth of the Cool. These installations are placed for maximum public exposure and have been fatal to bystanders. The phrase "Are we cool yet?" is always present in some way. It looks like it's just a whole bunch of stories. SCP-2492. Well, this is 24 France. SCP-92-173-D. Wasn't 173-D the version that took over the world? Wowee! Okay then. The Black Queen. Very little conclusive information. Isn't that the Kingdom Hearts logo? Very little conclusive information has been recovered about the person of interest called the Black Queen. She claims the given name of Allison Chow, going out of book, the name of the daughter of researcher Dr. Blank Gears and Blank Blank Chow before Gears' recruitment by the Foundation. The Black Queen possesses unusual knowledge of Foundation structure and activities and contained anomalies. The reason for this unusual knowledge has yet to be conclusively identified, but it appears to be gained partially through anomalous means, including the possibility of extra-universal information sources. She has repeatedly been able to breach Foundation's security utilizing this information, in addition to classified anomalous means. Conflicting reports exist of the Black Queen's activities and motivations, likely due to multiple individuals or deliberate counterintelligence. Initial reports characterize her as a malevolent, murderous, and destructive. Other reports characterize her as neutral or benevolent. All intelligence indicates her hostility towards the Foundation. There are reports of the Black Queen's involvement with most major groups of interest known to the Foundation, along with several world governments. Unverified sources claim that she is the same individual as LS of the Serpent's Hand, and that LS stands for Little Sister. The reason for this unusual close connection is possibly due to the Black Queen's use of the Wanderer's Library, which I was also told to check out but haven't gotten around to yet. Sorry about that. Intelligence indicates the presence of multiple other individuals calling themselves the Black Queen. The nature and origins of these individuals is inconclusive. Okay, so how have we seen her yet? I feel like we have. 1. House of Gears. I guess we haven't? Pretty Magic Gaiden Mecha Tokyo Mon Demon Ninja Sailor Clef. That's gonna be interesting. Okay. The Chaos Insurgency. We've definitely seen them. The Chaos Insurgency is a splinter group of the Foundation created by a rogue cell that went AWOL, with several SCP objects in 1924. Since then, the Insurgency has become a major player on the world stage, using the anomalies that it obtains for its own benefit and to consolidate its global power base. The Insurgency not only deals in anomalies, but also in weapons, running, and intelligence gathering. It makes use of authoritarian regimes in poor and developing countries, often using their populations in the same manner as the Foundation does disposable dudes. It helps to maintain the extreme poverty and war that is suffered by these countries, so that it can continue its radical experimentation, easy conscription of forces, and lucrative business deals with various opposing factions. Most of the anomalous objects possessed by the Insurgency are unknown. Among the most notable items are the Staff of Hermes, an item capable of warping the physical and chemical properties of any matter it touches, and the Bell of Entropy, an object that can cause a variety of destructive effects depending on where it is struck. Both of these objects were originally obtained at no small cost by the Foundation and were stolen by the original founders of the Insurgency. I feel like we read the tale where that happens. The SCP objects and other anomalies stolen from the Foundation typically possess high potential for direct utility, but the Insurgency has also made use of anomalies with less direct applications, such as SCP-884. The main base of operations for the Insurgency is unknown, as are its current leaders. This organization is directly antagonistic to the Foundation, using deadly force to attempt to prevent Foundation containment of multiple anomalies. The Foundation has also been infiltrated by agents of the Insurgency in the past, resulting in the loss of valuable scientific data, theft of a number of anomalies, and deaths of personnel. Personnel are made to be aware of possible raids, terrorist action, and spies from the Insurgency, and are to notify their superiors about any activities from the fellow personnel fitting the Insurgency behavioral profile. The Chicago Spirit? What the heck? During the early 20th century, the Chicago Spirit was the largest anomalous criminal organization in the Western Hemisphere. Based in Chicago, Illinois, the group's influence extended to most major cities in the United States, particularly New York, Boston, New Orleans, and the extra-dimensional state of Three Portlands, which is apparently its own thing. The Spirit was known for recruiting individuals with anomalous capabilities, as well as creating and exploiting anomalous artifacts for use in its criminal activities. The Spirit was founded in 1895 by Chicago resident and bar owner Richard D. Chappell, who was himself an anomalous individual. Despite years of efforts, the Foundation remained largely unsuccessful in its attempts to suppress Chappell's rise to power, due in part to its limited resources at the time as a result of an ongoing internal crisis. Which is probably the Insurgency right here. In January of 1919, which was 100 years ago, the Foundation officially suspended all opposition against the Chicago Spirit to ensure their cooperation in the nationwide syndicate, and eventually became a driving force in the illegal distribution of alcohol during the Prohibition era. Thanks to the success of its bootlegging businesses, the Chicago Spirit continued to amass power over North American markets and politics throughout the 1920s, and the Foundation was eventually forced to terminate its truce with the group in order to prevent the complete dissolution of scientific normalcy. On July 11, 1933, Richard Chappell was finally apprehended by Foundation operatives following a raid on the Spirit's base of operations. In the absence of its leader, the group gradually destabilized, and most of its members and assets were acquired by other organizations. As of 1938, the Foundation officially considers the Chicago Spirit to be defunct. However, rumors of the Spirit's continued survival have persisted in subsequent decades. Various artifacts have been discovered which imply the group's involvement, though a conclusive link has yet to be proven. SCP-3792. Furthermore, recent evidence has revealed the emergence of a new syndicate calling itself the Chicago Spectre, which seems to operate primarily in anomalous underground communities. Investigation into this group and its connections to the original Spirit, if any, are ongoing. Hypervelocity. Church of the Broken God. We know about them! Shortly after the discovery and containment of SCP-882, several members of this church came forward and demanded the return of the Heart of God. Led by one Robert Bumaro, they are a group of zealots, believing many of the SCP items to be parts of a god that was broken after the creation of the universe. And the story of that was one of the SCP-1s. By restoring it to its whole state, they will also gain godhood. They probably just get eaten. Since first contact, 3 other key components of the god have also been tentatively identified: 217, 271, and 1139. They are extremely hostile to Foundation operatives, branding them heretics. Okay. and will attempt to kill operatives and break containment of SCP items. It is unknown how they are able to detect these items, but they have shown their ability to do so with frightening accuracy. In addition, they have shown a remarkable ability to resist the mental effects of SCP items, notably 882 and its mental lure. The Church is viewed as a threat to both the SCP Foundation and mankind. Members are to be detained by force or eliminated by whatever means deemed necessary by Foundation agents. The Church of the Second High Toth. I'm not sure if we've seen this one. The Church of the Second High Toth is an occult organization of human and alien... Yeah, we've not seen this one. Entities that adhere to the extraterrestrial Ortothon religion, aiming to aid a universal guardian deity, Rakamo Lyosin, again in combat against extra-universal threats known as Vorutut. The central beliefs of the religion are that the current universe, the Second High Toth, was preceded by a different universe, which used to exist until it was consumed by an extra-universal entity. Maybe we have seen this one. This sounds familiar. A group of survivors fled to the newly created Second High Toth, our reality, with 7 of them choosing to ascend to godhood to ensure the universe's safety. 6 of these gods died over time, leaving Rakamura Lucen as the last survivor. Operations taken by the Church are performed underneath the veil, likely to avoid heavy scrutiny from normalcy organizations. The main language of the group is the Ortothon extraterrestrial language, which has been anomalously kept unchanged despite the distances between Ortothon sects. Group members attribute this to acts of divine intervention. Human Ortothon belief systems are known to have existed by approximately 11,000 BCE, corresponding to the formation of the ancient Ortothon kingdom civilization, though modern branches have only been developed in the past century. Ortothon groups separate from the Church exist, all being significantly smaller in comparison and tending to have different moral beliefs. Beyond the Church, the Ortothon religion has an interstellar and intergalactic presence, having initially emerged among extraterrestrial civilizations. Numerous such Ortothon civilizations are known to exist, with their full extent not yet ascertained. Among the largest of these is the Terzan II Ortothon Coalition, a collection of Ortothon entities residing in the globular cluster Terzan II at war with the hostile 12-star civilization. The only Ortothon civilization known to have entered the solar system is Species of Interest 2. It is presumed extinct. How do y'all know that? The thing with the interstellar war. Let's see. Yeah, SCP 475. What was this again? Anonymous survey. Okay. Anyway, Dr. Wondertainment. Dr. Wondertainment, whether an individual or collective entity, is capable of producing anomalous artifacts and entities which thematically resemble children's toys. The nature of these objects and devices varies, although all were clearly intended to be utilized by children. In addition, Dr. Wondertainment is responsible for the creation of the Little Misters, anomalous humanoids altered for collectability. Dr. Wondertainment is known to have targeted Foundation personnel in the past, and their feelings towards the Foundation appear to be ambiguous. See the entry of Isabel Wondertainment on the personnel dossier for more information. Links to the factory have been speculated but are unconfirmed. Personnel dossier. Probably gonna be way down there. Did I pass it or is she not? Persons of interest. LS, nobody. Oh, there we go. Dr. Isabel Helga Anastasia Parvati Wondertainment V. PhD, a young woman of considerable creative potency, not an ordinary tour maker by any stretch of the imagination, always accompanied by her ever unflappable assistant, Emma Aiselthorpe Brown, and her pet corgis, Jeremy. Her connection to the Little Mister series is indirect, detour through an older bearer of the Wondertainment name. She is but one of many to bear the moniker. So, that goes to Adventures in Capitalism Hub, and by stretch of the imagination is a funeral on Mars. Okay. The factory. Little is known about the factory. Excursions into facilities purported to be operated by them have yielded limited results, and no concrete conclusions have been reached except that they seem capable of manufacturing anomalous artifacts, and that they use mass production techniques to do so. I feel like y'all know a lot more about the factory than that. Given how many SCPs that you have that were made there, and how many terrible things happen when you have them, I feel like y'all know more about the factory than that. Don't give me that. The fifth church. This church is to other churches what clowns are to people. There are some superficial similarities, but all the wrong things are being emphasized and exaggerated, so you can't quite put your finger on what is wrong. Sure, it isn't out to get you, but what does it mean? Why is it there? What happens if it calls to you? Dr. Blank. The Fifth Church, also known as the Church of Fifthism, or the Fifthist Fellowship, is a highly secretive religious organization which possesses ties throughout the entertainment industry. Despite repeated investigations culminating in the 2007 nationwide sting known as Operation Stargazer, no further details regarding its doctrines, its practices, its number of members, or its goals have been confirmed, although a watch list is maintained of 100 confirmed and suspected Fifthist celebrities and other prominent personalities. Its origins have been placed in varying points in the mid-20th century and various locations in North America and Asia, but some sources have dated it to centuries earlier. The Fifth Church has never communicated directly with the SCP Foundation, but is to be considered a hostile force. Click here. Fifthist. This is a lot of things. Again, SCP-475. Gamers Against Weed is a loosely organized confederation of anomalous individuals as well as the associates thereof. The assassination of beleaguered normalcy by the Coward game that produce or procure anomalies for satirical purposes and or for their own amusement. More recently, however, they have also been implicated in supplying a... Okay. I thought something fell in my room, but it's just my dad in the attic. While Gamers Against Weed organizes... Or I misread something. More recently, however, they've been implicated supplying anomalies to left-wing political organizations. While Gamers Against Weed organizes activities primarily over internet channels, several real-world locations associated with the group have been identified and raided. Current intelligence suggests that GAO is in the process of creating and distributing a set of anomalous humanoids to parody Dr. Wondertainment's Little Misters series, and that it is aware of the Foundation's operations, if not its exact nature. Detainment of GAO members has proven more difficult than anticipated. Some of the group's organizers are believed to possess reality-altering capabilities either in their own right or through access to outside resources. Current operations are focused on the containment of related anomalies and the identification of and analysis of GAO's most dangerous members. I feel like the fact that they're trying to parody Dr. Wondertainment's Little Misters is going to come up later. So I'm not even going to click the click here because I want it to be a surprise when it eventually happens. The Global Occult Coalition. The GOC was created in the aftermath of World War II from the remnants of the defecting occultists, psychics, priests, and scientists from Nazi, Soviet, and Allied states, brought together and formed by the Allies. As the world stage broadened, so too did the number of countries that had their hands in the GOC until it became what it is today. The GOC are a largely political force, seeing themselves as the police of the paranormal world. They pride themselves on destroying supernatural entities and make use of the most high-tech experimental technology possible, obtained from their benefactors. Many potential SCPs have been destroyed by them before the Foundation could obtain and contain them. They have been on both the side of the Foundation and against it at times, depending on the situation. They largely hold the Foundation in contempt for their use and containment of SCP items rather than their out-and-out destruction. The GOC has respected the Foundation's formidable might enough to leave it mostly alone, although there have been some questionable incidents with which the GOC have strictly denied involvement. Agents of the GOC are to be treated with suspicion. Yeah, so I feel like they have the right idea. If they find like a dangerous SCP that does weird supernatural stuff and they know they can destroy it, so they do, I'm in favor of that. The GRU Division P, officially known as the or 4th Department Abnormal Occurrences Commission. It was established in early 1935 by direct decree of J.V. Stalin. I assume Joseph Stalin, but I don't know what the V stands for. In its first task being the investigation of the murder of S.M. Kurov. During World War II, the commission expanded into the newly reorganized GRU as Division P, Psychotronics, working to counteract anomalous threats from the SS, and the Vatican, and to capture and study anomalous artifacts both at home and abroad for the benefit of the Soviet government. Division P has carried on with its role throughout the Cold War, making Foundation operations in the countries of the common term difficult. After 1991, rapid restructuring, coupled with budget cuts and the decommissioning or sale of significant assets, resulted in numerous defections of their personnel. A significant proportion of both Chaos Insurgency and Marshall Carter and Dark operatives in Eastern Europe originated from GRU Division P ranks, and the flooding of the European black market with anomalous items formerly in their possession. Currently, this group of interest poses little direct threat to the Foundation. Herman Fuller's Circus of the Disquieting. Herman Fuller's Circus of the Disquieting is purported to be a circus of anomalous origin and purpose. Currently, there is no evidence that this group exists beyond the allegations of various sapient SCPs and a handful of damaged non-anomalous artifacts. Most related objects typified by the humanoid status utilize anomalous deformities for the sake of performance in some way, such as 1884 and 2902. Others appear to be typical fairground objects d'art, such as 1921, or take the form of attractions for the show, such as 3717 or 1695. Typically, objects related to the Herman Fuller Circus of the Disquieting are found at fairgrounds where the show was said to have performed. The Horizon Initiative. Man, there's a lot of these! The Horizon Initiative is an organization created in the late 1960s by various influential sects in the main three Abrahamic religions as a response to the growing number of anomalous activities and groups which they perceived as threats. Though the full extent of their goals is unknown, the High is known to target SCP objects either with the intention of retrieving or destroying them depending on each item's perceived place in their dogma. The initiative is led by a tribunal composed of leaders from the three largest sects involved in its creation, though a large amount of internal strife often leaves the official leadership in less than full control of the organization. The High's main combat force, Project Malleus, I think I have that bookmarked, is generally deployed in anti-cult operations and in SCP retrieval operations. The initiative's relations with most of the other groups of interest and the Foundation seems to be in a state of constant flux. While all parts of the High perceive the Church of the Broken God and Fifth Church with a great degree of hostility, and at times engaging them in armed combat, sentiments toward the Foundation and the GOC vary greatly from open hostility to a limited willingness to cooperate, depending on the internal affiliation of individual members. Ajamya. The Imperial Japanese Anomalous Matters Examination Agency, or Ajamya, not to be confused with the Foundation precursor Igamya. The Imperial German Anomalous Matters Examination Agency was Japan's official and primary anomaly agency in the period from the Meiji Restoration in 1868 until the end of World War II in 1945. It was founded with the purpose to bring Japan up to speed with Western esoterics research, acting as a modern counterpart to the pre-existing so-called primitive groups. In this capacity, the Ajamya cataloged hundreds of different anomalies spread throughout Japan and her colonies, conducted extensive research on these, and undertook numerous projects aiming to utilize the anomalous for the greater good of the fledgling empire. Ajamya saw its most significant role during World War II when it attempted to weaponize several anomalies to assist military forces in the war against the Allies. Rushed planning and insufficient funds, however, resulted in few of these programs bearing fruit. The Ajamya was formally disbanded with the Treaty of San Francisco in 1951, and most of its assets were either transferred to GOC control or covertly acquired by the Foundation. However, Imperial loyalists and Japanese nationalists within it kept Ajamya alive in the post-war years, this time as a clandestine operation, during which its main focus was checking the spread of communist influence in Japan and East Asia. Today, it primarily serves to care for the well-being of Japan's diverse but faltering anomalous ecology, and supports various nationalist agendas with its ties to prominent politicians, business people, and cultural personalities throughout Japan. It seeks to return some political power to the imperial family and return Japan to greater power status, and actively seek to exploit the various anomalies in the possession of for this purpose. The Foundation is seen as a foreign rival at best, and agents are to exercise due caution when interacting with Ajamya personnel. So looking at the length of this video so far and the fact that I'm not quite done with this page yet, I think I'm going to not do the Incident 239B thing this time, but we're still going to do the containment video. Mana Charitable Foundation, established in 1971 as an interfaith humanitarian relief agency, recovered documents describe the Mana Charitable Foundation's mission as sharing all of God's miracles with the least of his children. Funded indirectly through associations with various charitable groups and religious organizations, and on occasion publicly endorsed by wealthy philanthropists or academic institutions, the McF's primary agenda since its founding has been the free distribution of anomalous objects or their byproducts to civilians living in poverty-stricken regions of the Third World, or in areas afflicted by warfare, famine, or natural disaster. The McF is currently recognized as a non-governmental organization by the United Nations, and is known to operate legally and illegally in several hostile or isolated regions outside the Foundation's sphere of influence. While no SCP objects known to have been distributed by the McF to date have caused intentional harm to human beings or communities, and detained McF operatives tend to demonstrate strong pacifist beliefs, containment breaches associated with the group have often resulted in human casualties or severe threats to the global status quo due to unforeseen consequences of the objects released from containment, and or a zeal to distribute potentially helpful objects immediately without rigorous scientific study of their long-term behavior. Have we come across them yet? I don't think we have. Yeah, no, we haven't. I don't know. If I have, I don't remember, but I don't think I've seen them yet. Marshall Carter and Dark Limited. We know about them. A club based in London, England, catering to the super rich and with extensive political and financial ties worldwide, this group has caused extensive problems for the Foundation. McD is, I'm gonna just call them McDonald's. McDonald's is known for collecting rare and obscure items along with providing its members with the most exclusive, expensive, and rare experiences available. Maybe I shouldn't call them McDonald's, but I'll just call them McD. These activities have resulted in conflict with the Foundation on numerous occasions. The group is not known for the use of force. They prefer to apply extreme financial and political pressure to achieve their goals. When forced to use more direct means, McD employs outside agents, and it is very difficult to connect said agents to the organization. McD has caused several SCP containment breaches, primarily through the use of money or social pressure. Several reports, records, and even items have been leaked by Foundation personnel who've been approached with large amounts of money, or threats of extensive jail time or torture. Notably, 2 containment sites were almost brought to public attention after the Foundation refused access to members of McD. Information pertaining to McD, such as the name of the director or even a list of members, has proven very difficult to acquire. Agents encountering members of this group are advised to maintain a cover story and not, for any reason, reveal Foundation ties or SCP information. Nobody. Little is currently known about the person, entity, or group known as Nobody. First sighted in 1954, they have had numerous appearances since. There's only been one person seen at any given time, typically described as a male Caucasian dressed in a gray suit and a fedora. If asked his identity, he replies that he's nobody. However, it is not known if this is the work of a single person or multiple agents of a single unknown agency. Their agenda is currently unknown, sometimes helping the Foundation, sometimes hindering it. Caution is recommended if any field agents encounter an operative identifying themselves as nobody. Have we seen them yet? One again. Captain Kirby. There's the Sailor Clef again. So it looks like nobody shows up in a lot of tales, but not really any SCP entries. Office for the Reclamation of Islamic Artifacts, Oriya. Oriya is a paramilitary force answerable only to the Supreme Leader of Iran, dedicated to the collection and utilization of anomalous artifacts throughout the Middle East and Central Asia. Following the 1979 overthrow of the Imperial Iranian government by revolutionary forces and subsequent creation of the Islamic Republic of Iran, all Foundation personnel were expelled from Iran as agents of colonialism. Attempts at maintaining a clandestine presence in the country met with failure, with the majority of the Foundation personnel either captured or killed, and sites blank and blank being captured by Iranian forces. To prevent Iran from being left behind in the field of extranormal research, the Oriya was created as a secret decree of Supreme Leader Khomeini in 1981. Despite its name, the group has not limited itself to the pursuit of anomalous objects of Islamic origin. Although Oriya has access to considerable resources, its effectiveness is hobbled by infighting among numerous factions within the organization. Some of these disputes center around philosophical differences, such as the weaponization of anomalous objects, while others appear to be personal in nature. The proliferation of factions appears to have been intentional, as the organization of the Oriya often leaves multiple commanders with overlapping areas of responsibility. It is theorized that the reasoning behind this arrangement was to prevent any one individual from accumulating enough power to pose a challenge to the Supreme Leader. With the spread of Iranian hegemony throughout the Middle East and Western Asia, the Oriya has expanded its reach across the region, becoming the foremost paranormal organization in the Middle East. The Oriya is to be considered a hostile force, and Foundation personnel are advised to use extreme caution when engaging. Onayori to collect. Information about the collective has come to the Foundation only through analysis and interviews or the anomalous objects they leave behind. It is believed to be a collective consciousness of dreaming persons and dream-based entities. Intelligence has shown that they have been documented by other groups of interest, usually to a degree similar to the Foundation's interaction. The collective is apparently capable of contacting even highly isolated entities, e.g. nobody. Their goals, if any exist, are currently unknown. Prometheus Labs. Founded in 1892, Prometheus Labs was dedicated to researching anomalous objects for use in developing new technologies. Over the years, Prometheus Labs developed into a multinational conglomerate selling advanced and anomalous technologies to governments, militaries, and GUIs. Throughout its history, Prometheus Labs displayed a nominal amount of cooperation with Foundation efforts to protect normalcy, and at times even collaborated with the Foundation, but refused to cease its study of anomalies and resisted Foundation oversight. In 1998, following a long period of financial decline, the Prometheus Labs conglomerate was dissolved, resulting in the creation of numerous successor companies formed from its subsidiaries. The breakup of the conglomerate was fraught with technical and administrative difficulties, resulting in the loss of many products and the layoffs of numerous personnel. Most of the former projects of Prometheus Labs, now in containment, were recovered during this time, and many of its former employees were hired by the Foundation. Sarkic cults. Sarkicism is a religious/philosophical system that encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices largely based on teachings attributed to the Grand Karsus Ion, its deified founder. Adherents practice ritual cannibalism, human sacrifice, corporeal augmentation, thaumaturgy, and dimensional manipulation. Highly secretive, the general public appears to have no direct knowledge of their existence, the one exception being the Katbg, who views them in apocalyptic terms, a church of the broken god. Organic manipulation has allowed certain sarcocytes to achieve anomalous states of being, transcending the physical limitations of baseline humans. Disease is viewed with reverence, and sarkic shrines have been discovered with offerings of swollen lymph nodes and tumorous growths. How do you offer something like that? Sarkic cults treat contagions as consecration and a means to cull the weak and purify the masses, and thus actively seek to ensure their spread. The Foundation divides known Sarkic cults into two distinct strands, Proto-Sarkic and Neo-Sarkic. Proto-Sarkic cults can be found in insular communities throughout Eurasia's most isolated regions, its followers generally poor, if self-reliant, and hostile towards outsiders. Such groups eschew modernity, display acute technophobia, and are bound by superstition and taboo. In contrast, Neo-Sarkic cults are cosmopolitan, publicly embracing modernity. I've never seen that word before. And showing no apparent qualms with technology, their public lives differing little from others of their culture and social status. Adherents are primarily affluent families, rich in history and scandal. Ultimately, it is believed the Foundation only knows a fraction of what Sarkicism is and what its followers intend. Based on the available information, the speculated goals of Sarkic cults represent an SK-class dominance shift, including the possibility of an XK-class end-of-the-world scenario. The Serpent's Hand. The Serpent's Hand is a small but formidable organization responsible for several security breaches. At least 3 different individuals have been encountered, all of whom used possible or confirmed anomalous items for infiltration purposes, including SCP-268, which was stolen from the Foundation, who had in turn recovered it during a raid on the Chaos Insurgency facility. The total number of members belonging to this organization is unknown, as their level of technology, number of possible SCPs held, or total level of threat. However, it is clear they are highly coordinated and possibly dangerous. One of their leaders is thought to be a figure known as LS, who is considered to be personally responsible for 2 security breaches on Foundation sites. The Foundation currently has very little information about the Serpent's Hand, and almost all known information about the Serpent's Hand has been leaked from GOC intelligence. The group seems to embrace the use and existence of paranormal items, and in particular seems to embrace humanoid and sentient SCPs. The Serpent's Hand has been highly vocal in criticizing the containment and destruction of these SCPs, especially those which are fully human and are not particularly destructive. The group seems to have unfriendly relations with the Chaos Insurgency and the Araya, and an extremely hostile relationship with the Global Occult Coalition. The only recorded cases of unprovoked violence by the Serpent's Hand members have been against the GOC. The Serpent's Hand seems primarily based in an anomalous location called the Wanderer's Library, a building accessed through portals found in many different parts of the world. Direct assaults on the library have so far proven unfeasible, even when entrance could be found. However, initial intelligence seems to suggest the Hand has little understanding or control over the place. Attempts to infiltrate the Wanderer's Library are ongoing. I really am going to have to get around to reading about that at some point. Shark Punching Center? The Shark Punching Center, also known as the Salashian Punching Center, the Shark Punching Center, or the Salakiask Punjiks Kombin, among others, SCP-1449, is an organization located in one or more parallel universes, apparently acting as an alternate universe counterpart to the Foundation. SCP, right. While the Foundation has known of the Center for several decades, the structure, documentation, and general tone taken by the Shark Punching Center varies wildly, suggesting one or more universes are in a state of flux. Documents pertaining to the Shark Punching Center have been recovered and indicate a much more militaristic and unstable tone than a Foundation document. As the name would suggest, this SPC is mostly focused on furthering hand-to-hand combat as a means to neutralize Salashian entities, though some documentation fails to differentiate between Salashian and aquatic. SCP-169-J. It's unclear if the Shark Punching Center has any knowledge or concern of or with the Foundation activities. Unusual Incidents Unit, the FBI. The UEU was formed after the onset of the Cold War, when many aspects of the American government were focused on utilizing the anomalous and preventing the communists from doing the same. This led to the creation of a special FBI division devoted to rapid response to paranormal events and crimes. Director J. Edgar Hoover was personally involved with their creation. Although initially given significant funding and resources by the American government, following the end of the Cold War and the dissolution of enemy organizations such as Group He, the UEU had been in a state of decline for many years. Disparagingly referred to as X-Files and UI useless by the larger anomalous community, the agency is generally well-meaning, but due to a lack of financial resources, little manpower, and bureaucratic obstruction by the US government, it is often perceived as ineffective. The influence of the Foundation and global occult coalition of the United States government has stopped the UU and other US Gov entities dealing with anomalous activities such as the US Air Force 616th Squadron, Roswell's Revengers, and the US Navy SEAL Team Bravo Papa Romeo Delta from being dissolved entirely. FBI agents and special agents who join the UU often have backgrounds in psychology, STEM fields, and art studies. As a part of the Patriot Act, agents of the unit are required to be administered personalized memetic silencing agents, colloquially referred to as gag orders by the agents, to avoid leaks. The UU has been known to engage in combat alongside and against various anomalous organizations in the past, including participating in several combat operations under Foundation supervision in the 50s and 60s, and the Black Mamba incident in Afghanistan in 1976, an infamous skirmish between UU agents and members of Group He. Currently, a division of the UU oversees the autonomous anomalous state of Three Portlands. An example of underfunding and understaffing in the Unusual Incidents Unit can be seen in its sole remaining division in the Midwestern United States. Wilson's Wildlife Solutions. Wilson's Wildlife Solutions is a paranormal, publicly funded wildlife service based in Clackamas County, Oregon, specifically in the town of Boring. Although the Foundation has known of Wilson's Wildlife Solutions' existence and anomalous affiliation since 1999, it took 9 years until the Ursus Maritimus incident of 2008 for their existence to be officially recognized and a relationship established between the two. Currently, the Boring Agreement outlines that Wilson's Wildlife Solutions should be supervised by MTF Beta 4 castaways local to Site-64, and that they may handle containment of safe or Euclid fauna-based anomalies with varying degrees of Foundation intervention, on a case-to-case basis. Amendments to the Boring Agreement can be and have been made to account for gray areas or new policies as necessary. So, you have an idea for a group of interest. As a matter of fact, I do not. Now let's check out this here confinement.
We're occupying boxes of concrete, but the world continues to spin. A peak of endless vibrant colors from the outside looking in.
Wait, oh god, I was about to ask which SCP this was and suddenly machete!
Let me run, let me ride this let me go outside. Let me hunt, let me cry, just let me be alive. Let me run, let me ride, please let me go outside. Let me hunt, let me cry, just let me be alive. 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 Let me be alive.
We are gods. That one guy had a really laid-back reaction to having his arm lopped off.
What the f***?
It appears the community has constructed a wall, sir.
I know a damn well when I see one, Lieutenant. Go get the site manager on the phone.
Yes, sir. And you don't have to yell.
How many did we lose in there, Sergeant?
Staff counts: 6 killed, 22 injured, and 9 missing. Presumed hostages, sir.
Hostages. I was afraid you'd say that. This drops Trojan Horse with a nuke down to Plan B. This is Marcus. We're going to need a less catastrophic strategy. The men here are getting
Ooh!
Eat my taint! Bureaucracy is dead and we killed it! Now the people have control!
Dr. Wilson, get the f*** down here.
Okay. Looks like you're gonna have to take out a loan. Roll for initiative.
What?
Hey Connor, how's my pizza restaurant going? Sorry.
Sales in
Wait,
suburbs.
what time is it?
About 20 past 3.
Shit! Gotta go, guys. Ruby's the GM for now.
Mwah.
Oh.
Hey, dude, partner. How's it been?
Torture. How about you, girl buddy?
Trauma counseling for cockroach people again. Oh, but good news. I've been doing research on the contents of your dreams, and I think I'm coming close to what might be the source of your anomalous power. Isn't that exciting?
Oh, cool.
Connor, don't make me use my psychology powers to make you tell the truth.
I'd just rather focus on the now, you know? For now, let's just pretend I'm normal.
Aw, babe, there's absolutely nothing special about you.
Thank you.
Oh!
Ghost swords, demon swords, sentient swords. Ah, here it is. SCP-2200. The blade that takes souls.
Okay,
that
well, I've
doesn't
not
sound
seen that
fun.
yet.
There's nothing fun about toppling regimes, Connor. Not anymore. You'll be fine.
Miss Hilda, I don't think this plan
In
is...
short, this SCP is a sentient sword that chooses a host. At the moment, the designated wielder is a 27-year-old man named Lou Francis Patterson.
Good lord.
Don't let that face intimidate you. The sword is bound to his mind, and when he kills an individual with it, he sends their soul to a town in the Midwest called Salzburg.
Oh.
Or, as they now like to call it, the autocratic state of Salzburg.
Go deep in the ASS and pull out the staff. Got it.
Gross. Any more questions?
How do I respawn after the mission? Because I don't want to be stuck looking like an Academy Award.
Once you walk 50 kilometers away from the center of the slum, your soul will leave your body.
And I'll be back to normal.
Most likely. We don't know how powerful this entity is, so there's a small chance your soul will... Who knows? I'll have to read some astral documents and find the arcane weapon documents and the binder of the relic documents. God damn, we love documents in here.
I'm just sort of...
Hello, Connor.
I'm just sort of expected him to go full
I bet
Highlander.
You're wondering how I know your name.
Oh, I was just going to assume she told you.
You are mistaken. The sword told me. Still not impressed? The sword also told me about your plan to destabilize my eternal kingdom, my paradise, my destiny. I cannot let this happen.
Okay, you're bragging about being all-knowing from the inside of a prison cell. You know that, right?
While you pondered and studied a means of escape, I studied the blade.
What? No, 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 no. Nobody's trying to escape here. Hey, mission failed. Can we go now?
A dangerously short temper is a common trait among all previous sword wielders. Use that to your advantage. If you don't, then I'll have the site manager confiscate your weed.
Well, looks like we're gonna be here for a long time.
It would seem that way.
Or at least for me, since I'm immortal, you know?
Yep.
But not like your off-brand slumdog purgatory bullshit. I mean like real immortality.
I know what you're trying to do. It isn't going to work.
Yeah, I know you know. Your magic barbecue scraper told you so. So what? It cares enough to retroactively pass on my insults, but not enough to save your disco ball looking ass from getting locked up?
You're in here too.
I was taken here as a kid. What's your excuse?
I know what it is.
You probably got caught day one
Stop
after
it.
stepping into the
You're not
sunlight,
getting to me.
fucking
Enough.
toaster asshole.
I said enough. No, I won't do it.
Just as well. If it's your paradise, it's probably just anime girls.
Loyal subject, you have struggled and toiled in the field for generations. You have suffered great hardships and fought harsh battles. But above all, you have suppressed your fear of what is to come after death. Fear not, for you have been given an opportunity to abolish that fear entirely.
What?
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 What? What?
I said we had a new resident, Lord Sylvester.
Ah, yes. Thank you, Sylvia. Welcome, new alloy, to the autocratic state of Soulsburg.
Is he actually...
Okay.
He's dead?
Why is he dead?
What just happened?
The sword told me that this was going to happen.
The sound of immortality. Sounds of empty corpses falling in mass alloy. That's a face.
As you wish.
Alright, one more game. Bring it.
What the heck?
Shit.
What is its name?
What?
The name of the demon that possesses you. Do not lie.
Trust me, I'd tell you if I could, but I have absolutely no idea. So is this like your house or something?
I was forged by the very being that orchestrated the stars and filled the seas. I was imbued with a vow to save mankind from the scourge that is Hades and its foul occupants. If a demon is not in possession of your soul, then your very soul must be a creature of the devil himself.
Now is this really necessary? Because I know a really cute psychic katana I could introduce you.
Is that gonna work? Does it want the psychic katana or something else happening?
No.
What just happened?
I hope you all learned a valuable, life-changing lesson from that there message from the heart.
What? What?
Connor, I'm going to be straight with you. That was f***ed up. I've sent the report to the site manager, but he wrote it off as a minor workplace accident. And Connor, I've looked at your documents, and it seems almost all of your tests end in an unusual number of staff casualties, even SCP casualties. I was told the whole point of using you in tests is because you're expendable. No offense.
None taken.
Maybe people dying on a regular basis is just part of the job. But I'd be lying if I said that wasn't a depressing thought.
Are you new here?
Yes, actually.
Not to jerk myself off, but of all the SCPs to be stuck in a room with, I'm pretty damn tame and boring. I don't think you need to worry about a thing.
What? What?
Let me run, let me ride, please let me go outside. Let me hunt,
What?
let me cry, just let me be alive. Let me run.
Wait. Hold up. What did the credits just say? Sword. Oops. Let's see. Lord Fung is Connor, Sylvester, and General Marcus. Stealthy Zoroark as the sword. Eastside shows SCP as the lieutenant. Okay.
Cry, just let me be alive. Let me run, let me ride, please let me go outside. Let me hunt, let me cry, just let me be alive. 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 Let me be alive.
Okay, so that happened. And there's like half of episode 6 and the other half's not up yet because apparently the dude broke his butt. Hopefully he's okay from that. But in the meantime, that does it for this episode of SCP Sidestep. In the next episode, we'll read some other things. I don't know what they'll be yet. I don't even know when that episode is going to be. All I know is that the next one of these is definitely going to be in it because I need to know what happens. And I only watch these when I'm doing these videos. So, if you liked it, a like to subscribe would be groovy. If you didn't, you need to do either one of those things. Also, give Lord Bung a subscribe. Like, he's already got 586,000, but that doesn't mean he can't use some more. So, I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.